2 seasons ago, in the final game of 1977, the Colts played the Patriots in a game they had to win to make the playoffs. Baltimore fell behind by 3 touchdowns. Then, led by Burt Jones, staged one of the greatest comebacks ever seen in Memorial Stadium.
Jones is going to throw out of the end zone. Fakes once, now fires deep. Dowdy. He's got it!
Oh, my. What a great catch, too. He had to turn around to get it 57 yards.
The comeback continued when the Colts, now just 1 point behind, reached the Patriots 3.
We have that clock running a point behind. What a thriller.
Oh, what a football game. What a second half of football. 3rd and goal, Baltimore at the New England 3. Double tight end offense. Jones gets it to McCauley, right side, dives, and he's got it. He's got it. He scores. McCauley has scored, and the Colts go ahead.
What a comeback.
This club will have one of the great ovations in recent years. New England just played their hearts out, but the Colts have won the game. It is all over. Baltimore's Memorial Stadium is an outdoor insane asylum. Joy rebounding all over the stadium. People are standing in the upper deck. They don't want to go anywhere. Memorial Stadium rocking. The great cheers for a deserving, very courageous, and most importantly, victorious Baltimore Colts football team. They got up off the deck.
The incredible 30-24 win crowned the Colts champions of the Eastern Division. It appeared the glory days had once again returned. The next week in the playoffs, the Colts and Raiders met in one of the classic games in NFL history. The lead changed hands 11 times. It took 2 overtime periods to end this marathon, and when it was over, Baltimore narrowly had lost an unforgettable game. But with one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL and a defense that habitually made the big play, the future looked bright. Optimism was in the air, and in the new season, the love affair between Colt fans and their team was ready to be resumed. Everyone from ball boy to team owner felt the sky was the limit for the 78 Colts. Right from the start, the season was a disaster. In Dallas, Burt Jones was sidelined by a preseason shoulder separation, and the Colts were forced to start Mike Kirkland, who had never taken a single snap in a regular game. Against the doomsday defense, the results were predictable. A national television audience saw Baltimore's lofty ambitions leveled before an onslaught of Dallas defense and offense. For the Colts, the feeling was that things couldn't possibly get worse. The next week, in the home opener, they did. This time with injured second-string quarterback Bill Troop replacing Kirkland, the Miami Dolphins did the deed, shutting out Baltimore for the 2nd consecutive game while piling up 42 points themselves. But there was a reason for the 2 straight shutouts and 80 points allowed, for Baltimore had suffered unprecedented injuries that ransacked the quality of the team, as shell-shock coach Ted Marchibroda acknowledged.
We've probably been as hurt as any ball club has ever have been. We've got some people out that evidently hurt us maybe more than what I think they do. But again, it's a disappointing loss, and I guess sometimes maybe the loss of Barnes, Jones, and Dowdy come up with a back spasm right before the ball game. Maybe it's too much for us to overcome, I guess. I guess the only thing I could think, we're a good football team, but we have to hit on all 8 cylinders.
But the injuries continued, and from the bright expectations of autumn to the gray days of December, defeat stalked the Colts every step of the way. The injuries never ceased. 12 players were lost for at least 4 games, 6 of them for the entire year. Of the injured dozen, 10 were starting players. Subtracted from the defense were Mike Barnes, Herb Orvis, Ron Fernandez, Stan White and number 43, Norm Thompson. But it was the Colts offensive unit that suffered the most. Tackles number 64, David Taylor, and All-Pro George Coons, number 75, were lost for the entire season. The Colts' attack never recovered from this 1-2 punch. The most devastating blow was struck at quarterback, where veteran backup Bill Troop broke a wrist that would hamper him all year. And Burt Jones saw most of his action playing catch with the ball boys. With Jones out and Troop playing hurt, the delicate timing critical to a passing attack was thrown off kilter, and the Colts' once powerful air attack disconnected. The statistical evidence is overwhelming. A team that was at the top offensively in '77 ranked near the bottom in '78. The decline could be summed up in one word. From the time Burt Jones left the field with his shoulder separation, Baltimore was never the same. For if ever a contemporary athlete is the heart and soul of his team, Burt Jones is that athlete. This is a young man who truly loves to play football. And while he paced the sidelines, the Colts were severely deprived. It isn't just the rocket right arm. It's the lift the team gets just from knowing he's on the field. For Jones is the Colts' leader, and if the sad season of '78 had any value at all, it proved beyond a doubt Baltimore is an entirely different team with Burt Jones in the lineup. With Jones out, the bomb to Roger Carr was diffused, although the fleet flanker averaged 21 yards per catch. With Carr on one side and acrobatic Glenn Dowdy on the other, the Colts are set at receiver. Dowdy's prime assets are his great concentration and supple hands. In addition, the receiving corps has Mike Ciani, Randy Burke, and 6'6" Reese McCall, number 86. The team's top draft choice from Auburn had a very impressive rookie year. Though the offensive line was without its two starting tackles, number 61, Robert Pratt, filled the leadership void and had his best year as a pro. Pratt and fellow guard Ken Huff cleared the path for three Colts who started at fullback. They were number 34, Ron Lee, and blocking back supreme, Roosevelt Deeks, number 48. This tandem carried the load early. Then another fullback came on strong. Number 36, Don Hardeman. His 46-yard run against the Jets was the longest of the year for Baltimore. But the big noise in the backfield was created by Joe Washington, the team's leading runner, receiver, and kick returner. When Joe Washington touches the ball, something exciting usually happens. Washington is the quintessential triple threat, throwing, catching, and running the football with hell-bent fervor. He barely missed the coveted 1,000-yard mark rushing, and his total yards ranked him second in the conference. All this despite the fact he didn't start until the 5th game of the season. Washington's speed gives the Colts a dimension they have lacked, and with his great balance and ability to change direction on a dime, Joe Washington is like a disco dancer in low cuts, tapping a medley of pace and acceleration. The problem on offense contributed mightily to the decline of the defense. They were on field too much of the time and usually in a catch-up situation. Changes must be made, but basically the talent is there, especially on the line where the sack pack resides. Number 76, Joe Ehrman's brawn at tackle complements the quickness of his partner, Mike Barnes, number 63. On the outside, John Dutton, number 78, led the team in quarterback sacks. But of all the members of the sack pack, no one could match the year enjoyed by Fred Cook, number 72. The 5-year veteran has the ability to take a solid shot from an offensive tackle, peel off, then pursue and hunt his man down. Cook's chief strength is the quickness that often brings him into his opponent's backfield the same time as the ball. The biggest target for improvement is the linebacking position. Despite solid seasons for Stan White and Ed Simonini, this is a unit that must be upgraded. With help from the draft, the position should be shored up next season. Help is also needed at cornerback, but the safeties are solid. Number 40, Bruce Laird, is a hard hitter who enjoyed another fine season. But the bright light in the defensive backfield was number 44, Lyle Blackwood. The free safety was second on the team in tackles and returned 2 interceptions, long distances for touchdowns. The one unit that exceeded expectations last year was the special team. From excellent kick coverage to pinpoint punting, like this coffin corner kick by David Lee, the special teams were a strong suit all year long. The team had 2 of the most effective returners in Baltimore history. Joe Washington averaged over 26 yards a return, while Marshall Johnson, number 80, brought back 41 kickoffs for nearly 23 yards an attempt. But the distinguishing feature of this band of special teamers was their ability to block kicks. A field goal and 3 punts were among their trophies, as the Colts' 10-man all-out rush assaulted enemy punters. This knack for blocking kicks paid its biggest dividend in St. Louis, where Bud Wilkinson's Cardinals were dealt a defeat primarily due to great special team play. A fine individual effort by number 84, Randy Burke, in which he spiked a punt, then carried it to the Cardinal 31, was one of 2 blocks by Baltimore. Each led to a touchdown. While the special teams accounted for 2 scores, the defense rang up a third when Lyle Blackwood intercepted a Jim Hart pass and took it back 79 yards. The Colts defeated the Cardinals handily. It was one of only 5 wins all season. Another came 2 weeks later at home against Denver. It was a day for defense, as this tipped pass from Bill Troop to Glenn Doughty was the only touchdown of the entire afternoon. A ferocious pass rush had Craig Morton on his back most of the day, as the defending AFC champions were held to merely 2 field goals. The outcome was decided with 8 seconds left, and Denver merely a chip shot away from victory. Mike Barnes blocked Jim Turner's field goal attempt to preserve a hard-fought 7-6 win. It was one of the few times all year that the Baltimore defense showed its true colors. Under the bright lights of Monday Night Football, the Colts played their two finest games of the '78 season against the revenge-minded Patriots in a blinding rainstorm. The Colts trailed after 3 periods. Then Baltimore's offense finally ignited. Patriot fans and a national television audience witnessed one of the great individual performances in pro football history. Joe Washington threw for 1 touchdown, caught another, and returned a kick for a third. The extraordinary one-man show brought the Colts to a tie with 1:18 left in the game. Barely a minute for Baltimore to beat the clock, the rain, and the sky-high Patriots.
Here's a line knuckleball bouncing downfield. Washington, I think, at the Baltimore 10 to the 15. Upfield, still on his feet, out in the open momentarily, and he's going to be caught. No, he isn't. He's on his feet. Go, Washington is going down into New England territory to the 10. He's going to score! Oh, my! Joe Washington returns 91 yards.
Oh, my!
Go to war, Miss Agnes.
Did we find the guy when we got this guy?
Joe, how'd you like to be mayor?
Memorial Stadium lit up like a Christmas tree for Baltimore's second successful Monday night extravaganza. The famed Parkway rivalry between Baltimore and their NFL neighbors, the Washington Redskins. The fired-up Colts versus division-leading Redskins. This game marked the return of Burt Jones. The young quarterback was rusty, and the Skins jumped out to a quick 10-0 lead. But the Colts defense regrouped, hung tough, and sparked by 2 interceptions by cornerback Norm Thompson, refused any further scoring by Washington until Burt Jones shook off his rust. Jones' first scoring pass of '78 was caught by rookie Reese McCall and put the Colts on the scoreboard at last. But in rallying his team, the courageous quarterback paid a painful price.
Yeah, very, very severely hurting Burt Jones. He tried to throw on the sideline in front of the Colt bench. I'll tell you, frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it was agony to sit up here and watch him try to do that. He's going to go back in there and give it another try.
For one shining evening, the potent partnership of Jones to Carr was together again. And 78 yards later, Baltimore was ahead. But the lead didn't last long. The Redskins, fighting to keep their division lead, apparently salted the game away, with seconds rapidly ticking off the clock.
This could be their last possession. They're going to have to take it in, drive the ball, because they don't know whether Burt can throw it long.
Pitch out to Washington, sweep to the left side, made a cut, open, down to the Redskin 40, Redskin 35, Redskin 30, goes Joe Washington. Scintillating, dynamite, dazzling runner.
My, what electrifying running. He's dynamite.
These were the Colts, with all 8 cylinders clicking at last. The running Joe Washington and the air arm of Burt Jones to Roger Carr. One last try for a taste of glory in '78.
In a standard pro set, Carr wide right, Dowdy wide left, the hurting Jones. Yanks it away, wants to throw, looking to set up. Has a little time, fires. And it's caught by Carr for the touchdown.
Chuck?
I'll tell you, I've seen some gutty performances, but that's a perfectly thrown touchdown pass to Roger Carr, and the Colts are on top 20-17, and Memorial Stadium is shaking and rocking as they have wanted nothing more than a winning football team. That's all they've wanted.
Baltimore fans have really been deprived of what could have been some kind of a show with a healthy Burt Jones and Joe Washington around here.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They've shown that they're one team with Burt Jones and quite another without him. And now the stadium begins to rock with defense. Defense. 52 seconds on the clock. Redskins have the football. Theismann cranks up and then hit from behind and down by Joe Ehrman. The football is loose. Baltimore recovers. Joe Ehrman hitting from behind. The Colts have the football and they have the football game. You have seen and we have watched, and I hope you have enjoyed one of the guttiest performances by a professional quarterback. It's been my pleasure to watch in many, many years. And that is the end of the ball game. The Baltimore Colts win it.
Only a single game in a season when many were lost. But it's a reminder of what the Colts can do when all the pieces are in place. 1978 won't happen again.